Hello friends and family of YouTube. Well, I appreciate y'all joining me today for kind of the follow-up on the Ask Dave. Today I'm going to give some answers to the questions that everyone was asking on my previous video. I do want to preface this video by saying I by no means think I am a know-it-all, so I'm not trying to put that off at all. The only reason that I feel like that I maybe qualify to answer some questions is I have been in probably at least 2,000 or 3,000 RVs over the last couple of years. So with that being said, that does give me quite a bit of experience as far as going in and out of these, seeing a lot of things, and talking to a lot of the salesmen, dealerships, and man, I watch a lot of videos. I do a lot of research, and I may not always show it on my videos. I am kind of lazy, and when it comes to doing anything technical on the internet, that sort of thing, I'm very far behind. So our first question comes from Duncan N. Duncan says, looking for a couple's toy hauler with dogs, not too heavy. I own a 2020 Toyota Tundra 4x4, and my side-by-side is a Honda Pioneer Deluxe 5-1000. It's 50 inches wide. Also would use extended stay in hot and cold climates. Anyway, so to answer the question of what do I like as far as a small toy hauler couples unit, the Freedom Express 17 BLSE is one that I have looked at, and I like it. The reason I like it is because it is a smaller size toy hauler, but it does have a dual axle. Being that I would, if I was to spend the money to get a toy hauler, I would definitely want a dual axle. And the fact that it is smaller, I would imagine it would be able to haul something like that, like you're talking about a side-by-side, and it should not be a problem. One other thing that I've noticed a lot on the smaller toy haulers is a lot of times they do not have much of a freshwater carrying capacity. So that's something you've got to look out for when you get one of these. I've even seen them as low as only 13 gallons freshwater. And basically that is for a couple, that is one day. That is both of you taking a very splish-splash shower, maybe washing out two cups and dishes, and you're pretty much done with your water for the day. So Ronald Poole asks, do you ever review motorhomes? Very seldom, Ronald, and mostly because of the places that I go to do my videos. A lot of times they don't have motorhomes, and that's really kind of out of my wheelhouse. I really don't I don't have a lot to add or bring to the table when it comes to those things. So I really like to stick with stuff that I know inside and out, or at least have been through a few times to kind of know what I'm talking about, and motorhomes I really don't. And William Hoover asks, aren't you the Dave at the Nashville Flea Market? Well, I was the Dave at the Nashville Flea Market for about 9 years. I guess the best way I can put this is they had a lot of people that were, or a couple of people I should say, that were running the flea market there, and the couple of people had some pretty big egos and really loved their authority, and they could not stand that I had my camper in my boot space. I had my camper there, and it cost me a lot less money to have it there than it would have if I put it in the campground. And it was very easy, accessible for me to get to my food, my medicine, my dog. Everything was really nice, and at nighttime I could kind of be like security up there and make sure everybody around me was safe from thieves at night. Matter of fact, one particular weekend I did not go to the flea market. My neighbor behind me had $5,000 worth of merchandise stolen that night. And it just happened to be from some of the workers that previously worked at the fairgrounds. So anyway, a couple of people there really had a big ego. They loved their power of authority, and they kept telling me I could not put my camper up there. Although there was campers scattered all throughout that place, there were trailers everywhere, and not one dealer was ever told to move their camper or trailer. But I was pestered about it probably 10 times. And I feel like the whole reason I was pestered about it was I used to give them money and pay at the campground, even though it cost more money. And when I decided I was not going to do that anymore, they didn't like that. They wanted me to go back to the campground and continue paying more money. I just didn't think it was right that 20 people in that place had campers everywhere. Nobody was ever said anything to, but I was singled out. So they built a new facility. They didn't want me to come back. I guess I've got my first enemy in my life. I've not had many enemies, but I guess they don't like me there. So I'm not welcome, and I'm not going to force myself back. So to hell with that place. So Samantha Dodd, she asked, I'm looking for a scamp. Do you have any recommendations about how to get one? Also, what do you think about the fiberglass trailers? Fiberglass has a lot of great things about it, mostly being the lightweight. I would also tend to think, now I don't have any data to back this up, but I would think that the fiberglass would stay a little cooler versus say like the Airstream. And the only reason I compare them is because usually the fiberglass and the Airstream are rounded for aerodynamic purposes, and I would think that the Airstream would tend to be a little hotter in the summertime, camping season, than the fiberglass would. The thing that I dislike about fiberglass is that if you were to drill holes into the fiberglass to install something like solar panels or something like that, you've really got to be careful when it comes to fiberglass. If you do not do it correctly, you can really cause some serious damage. And to answer the question of any recommendations about how to get one, man, just wear out Craigslist. That's the best way, I would think. If you go over to the left-hand column of Craigslist, you can also click on a thing. It says something like show more in nearby areas, I think is what it says. So once you do that, you can search about 200-mile radius, I believe. So Jimmy Black asked me, what do you think about the 12-volt refrigerators versus gas and electric? I'm only going by what I'm hearing, and so far what my viewers are telling me about the 12-volt refrigerators is that they are kind of eating up the batteries. So unless you have a good-sized battery bank, it sounds like 12 volts not a good way to go. The versus the gas and electric, the good of the gas and electric is you do have versatility there. You've got, of course, the gas or electric, but at the same time, you still got to have a battery bank, even if you are running it on gas. John Donnelly asked, what is pros and cons for propane electric fridge versus all electric fridge? I will tell you, John, what I would add to what I just said for Jimmy's question. I like the all electric because the all electric gets cold so much quicker. You can plug in most all electric refrigerators, and within about 30 minutes to an hour, you've got a cold refrigerator. Now, the other ones, like the Dometic that I had before I put my all electric in there, the Dometic that I had to turn it on for 2 days before I decided to go camping. I had to put a bag of ice in there. I had to do all kinds of tricks, and I still couldn't get the darn thing to get below 45 degrees. So that's kind of my take on it. So Robin Easley says, hey Dave, been watching your channel for a spell. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Enjoy the honesty about the good and the bad. Question, what are the pros and cons of buying used from dealers versus private? I would like to think that you could do better at a private than you could a dealer. A dealer has a lot of overhead expenses. They don't really know the background of the camper. They can tell you what they can find on the internet about it, the basics, like you know, the water capacity, that sort of thing. So they can kind of get you brought up to speed with that stuff. But as far as the background of that particular camper, I would feel better at buying from an individual, just my own personal experience. And while we got that subject up, always bring a ladder. If you're looking at a used camper, you want to bring a ladder just in case the camper does not have one built in. Another trick is if you kind of don't have a way to carry a ladder with you, let's say you're in an SUV or a small car, get you a selfie stick. And I know that sounds like a weird thing if you're not familiar with a selfie stick, but you can go to Walmart, Best Buy, any of those stores, get you a selfie stick for about $5. You attach your camera phone to it. You put your phone in camera mode and you extend that selfie stick up. You can get that thing about 5 feet up in the air. Walk around the perimeter of the camper and you can see what the roof situation looks like. Most roof leaks happen either around anything that protrudes the roof or around the perimeter of the camper. So that's where I would definitely want to look, using a camera phone to shoot my video. Then I would pull it down, look at the video, and kind of make a judgment call from there. All right, so let's see. Living Free, Mike, he asked me, do you ever dream of a future where RV spaceships will be available and affordable, where you can travel and explore other worlds in an RV and boondock literally on another planet? Man, doesn't that sound cool? I can only imagine what they would charge for hookups and a one-night stay, though. So, you know, I try not to even dream about stuff like that because most campgrounds are about $40 with hookups. I can only imagine what they would charge on Venus or Mars or a place like that. So, you know, boondocking, yeah. I'm with you there on the boondocking part because you wouldn't have to worry about the campground fees. But yeah, great question, Mike. All right, so Missouri travelers, what was your favorite campground? Matter of fact, it was with Mike from Living Free. We were at a place called something Springs up in Tennessee. I wished I could remember the name of it, but it was right outside of a TVA facility, and man, we had free stay. They had showers and everything. Anyway, I did a couple of videos on it. If I can remember the name of it, I will try to put a comment down below, and I'm sure to hit me as soon as I turn the video camera off. So Rick Baker asked, hi Dave, been camping for 10 years or so. Had about all kinds of campers from A to C to trailers. We just moved to Gulf Shores from St. Louis. Love it down here, looking for a couples camper trailer. What's your favorite brand? Ooh, I had some tongue twisters on his for some reason. I love the Microlight, and it's by Flagstaff, and I also like Rockwood. And I'll tell you a little secret. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell this or not, but I was told that they both come off of the same assembly line. Don't know if that's a fact or not, but the person that told me, I would definitely take that to be a fact. But I do love both of those when it comes to like the fiberglass style exterior, whether you're talking about a knockoff brand or one of the major brands of like a fiberglass type exterior. As far as a aluminum type exterior, I love my Avenger. I bought my Avenger ATI back in 2013, and I love it, man. I've really had great service with it, so been proud to have it. All right, so what do you think about Parkway RV? Yeah, I love them. I love the fact that they give you the keys to the golf cart and tell you go on out there and find what you need to. So that's pretty cool about them. All right, so Eugene Fair, man, he has been with me for a long time. What does Muppy think about you running around all over the place checking out RVs? Man, she every time I leave her for more than 3 or 4 hours, she is going nuts. So I miss little Muppy when I do go out. And he, Eugene also asked, let's see, he's wanting me to tell some more stories. I would love to do that, and I regret that I have not been. That's something that I started out doing back when I first started my channels, and I need to get back to it. My apologies, and I promise you next time I have a video come out on the Dave and Muppy channel, I will give a story just for you, Eugene. I sure appreciate it. So, Southern Boy says, I really enjoyed your Ukraine video series. If you go back to Europe this year or next year, I think you should go to Belarus. I know there is a great lady over there just waiting for you. All the best, and thanks for all you do. Thank you, Southern Boy. I appreciate the kind words. Probably won't go to Belarus. It's a little too cold there in the wintertime. If I did end up falling for a woman there, she might want me to go back in the wintertime, and my southern blood just can't take it. But all jokes aside, I have been thinking about going to Europe, probably looking maybe around Austria, not Australia, but Austria, Slovakia, and possibly Poland. So going to take a lot of things, magic, to make this trip happen, but and probably won't get to happen this year, but that's my hopes. Bill Riley says, I did a video on the Grand Design 2021 XLS RBE. The price on it, on these vary widely, and depending on where you're at, and they are in high demand. So he's asking if the dealership at Ringgold that I did a video on is one of the best places to get it or not. What I like to do is I like to research within, I suggest to people, research about 300, 400 miles from your home, something like that. The whole purpose in getting a camper is we want to travel. So hey, don't be shy about looking 300 or 400 miles from your home, and find out what the prices are. And when you call the dealerships, tell them what you're doing. Tell them you are price shopping and you are comparing up to 300, 400, 600 miles, however many miles it is. A lot of people drive a long way to save, and there is nothing wrong with that. If you think about it this way, if you drove, let's say 6 hours, and you saved even $2,000, you realize how much money you made per hour by doing that? I mean, that is amazing to think that it's that simple. But I have seen these prices swing so far as $10,000 on just like a small couples camper. $10,000 swing just in a 6 hour drive. And to know there are people that don't even do the research, and they end up spending extra $10,000. So there's my words of advice for the day. Lorraine Laurie says, be careful asking for pictures. Yeah, I probably should. So she also said the haircut looks great. Thank you, Lorraine. Yeah, I've been doing some home hair cutting myself, and I'm not so sure about how it turned out myself. Hello to Jane Bray. She said hello on here. Chris Madden says, do you have an RV brand that you feel has consistently better build quality amongst the more mainstream brands and not the premium expensive brands like Airstream? I wished I could say there is, but there's not. I mean, let's face it, all these things are built like junk. They're made cheap, they're made lightweight. But when you think about the fact that they have everything a home should have, and you're gonna drag this thing 70 miles per hour down the highway, and you might put 150,000 miles on it, it's amazing to me to think that these things hold up to what they do, even and especially considering the cheap manufacturing supplies that they use to put these things together with. Great question. I wish that I could tell you there are some great built manufacturers out there. They're not. There's just some that are a little bit better than others, and that's about it. Don't know how to pronounce this next name. I think it's Fancy Schmancy. That's it. All right, so what is your opinion on hybrid campers? And they talk a little bit more about hybrid campers in the question, and I'm just going to kind of give you my feeling on hybrids. I've shown a few on my channel before, but I really have uncomfortable feelings about hybrid, mainly because you've got that canvas type material that once that material gets wet, if you do not get it completely dried out, it will mold and mildew. The seams on those things, once the seams start to age and the threads start to dry rot, that canvas material falls all apart, and good luck trying to find replacements or get replacements made. So that's why I've really not done much on those. I've just done them just to kind of show you a little bit about what's out there. But I would say that if you do get one, I would suggest having some type of storage for you to keep it in out of the weather. All right, James Jackson asked, I want to get a cargo trailer to build it out. I was looking at a wee roll trailer. What do you think about that? I think that's an awesome idea. Hey, if you have the handyman skills, really that is the best way to end up with what you need, exactly what you need. And there are there's some RV junkyards scattered throughout the United States. If you can find one of those and get a lot of your supplies out of there, that's really the best way to come up with the camper that suits your needs, is to build it from a cargo trailer. Chris Elliott, Chris has been with me a long time as well. Till this COVID deal, didn't realize bathroom size matters. Campgrounds, go to the restroom, the doors are locked. Really stupid. They make trailers with an outside pooper yet? Well, I guess you could call it a bucket. Take you a bucket and some cedar sawdust. You can get cedar sawdust at Walmart for about $6 for a huge bag. Take that little Walmart bag, stick it down in that bucket, put that cedar in there. Man, you've got an instant toilet. You can put that thing outside all day long. So yeah, this COVID thing, well, I'm going to try not to say anything about it, but it is getting old. Sam Hagens asked, how about an update from your rental building? Yeah, I've still got a lot to finish up with it. It's going to require money, and COVID is primary reason I kind of put a stop to it, because not knowing what's going to happen with this, and COVID really made a lot of things different, especially people traveling. So with that said, right now I don't know that too many people would be using the Airbnb, so I don't want to invest any more money in it. But the gun store next door in the other building, they're doing well. The guys signed a 2-year contract with me about 6 months ago, so really proud for those guys. Scott Elwood says he might be passing through here in September, and hope you do. And if you do, hopefully we can meet up, Scott, and get us a meal together. Buck Naked, that is Patrick. He was one of my first 10 subscribers to my channel back then. I think his channel was called No Money Nomad. Thanks a lot, Patrick, for sticking with me. Patrick says, have you seen the new 2020 Snoozy that they are building now? Man, I got to catch a video clip of one of those. That is pretty cool. I'm glad to see they brought it back. For those of you that are not familiar with it, it's shaped like an egg. It's a little fiberglass camper. I guess some would call it a teardrop, but very lightweight. You can pull that thing with a very small SUV or even a small pickup truck. But yeah, those little snoozies are pretty cool. Folks, I appreciate y'all sticking around with me today. I know I had to rush through these, but I knew it was going to take up some time. I think I had 27 comments on there to answer to, so hate that I had to rush them through so quick, but man, I appreciate y'all sticking with me throughout all the years. I think I've seen that I did 259 videos on this channel already. So that is really awesome to know that this many people's watching. 13,500 subscribers, I think, right now, something like that. I really appreciate it, folks. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for watching. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Hope to see y'all again real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.